Good morning, dear ones, dear planetary creatures who are on this wild ride of initiation of a time of what they've been calling social distancing. I want to take a look at that this morning and see now we're settling into a new pattern here in California. It's the second week of stay in place. It's a different kind of staycation, isn't it? I'm Jean Lynn Catherine Carlson, and I am here to be with you, to connect deeply over distance, and to look at how we look at what's going on. I was brought to someone's work, Francis Weller, who is a Jungian analyst, and a friend of mine sent this to me, and he has some really great ideas for how to reframe, how to really appreciate the challenge we are having as humans with this whole thing. I mean, it is rattling our worlds. It is shaking what we say is our sense of security. We are not able to be with people in the same way. And when we as human beings have our comfort zones disrupted, it is a time of great opportunity, great opportunity, great growth. And this is a planetary, a collective and personal time for that. So I wanted to share a little bit about what he says. He says that we are tumbling through a rough initiation. Now, an initiation is a time of radical alteration. So this, he says, we are tumbling through a rough initiation when radical alterations occur in our inner and outer landscapes, where there's no familiar ground. Good morning, Adrian. So nice to see you. And what's really interesting about this is as we are out and about, and most of us are staying inside as much as we can, but then we still go to the grocery store, we go for walks out in nature, and as we see people walking their dogs or see people in the grocery stores, everyone is facing the same thing. Their circumstances are unique, but we are all facing the same thing. We are all facing this initiation. And so there are a lot of shifts happening along this evolving crisis. You know, every day you wake up and it's something a little bit different. The insane pace that we've been keeping has screeched to a halt. And in some ways, I think some of us are, it's kind of interesting to me because I'm finding myself as busy in a way, in a different kind of way than I was before. There's not as much travel time. I got to spend some time this morning with an organization called Woman Space in Rockford, Illinois. And I actually got to meet some of the practitioners there. I live in California, but go to Rockford and occasionally do workshops there. But there was this sense of more connectedness, a deeper connection in a way than I've had in person. It's kind of like throwing things on it. It's throwing our lives on the ear. One thing we can do, Francis says, is to reimagine. Hey, Maggie, thank you for showing up. Reimagine social distancing as an experience of sanctuary and solitude. Social distancing is a very cold term, and it says, oh, keep your distance. Oh, there's something wrong. Oh, danger, danger. But what if we see this radical initiation? People are leaving the planet right and left. There are deaths, there's uncertainty, and we are needing to go within, because on the inner plane, is where real life is. We create our reality from inside out. It doesn't feel like that, and there's much we don't outside of us that we don't have control of, but there is our perception of reality that is what we create from within. So what if, listen to this, social distance is a cold term, lacking any sense of the rich invitation. Rich invitation, doesn't that feel better? A rich invitation that awaits us when we turn toward our internal worlds. The internal world is begging, the soul world is begging for us to spend some time with it and to be here. I think the birds are singing more, the trees are happier, the sky is happier, and they are helping us realize that when we can turn within and see the beauty inside of ourselves, then we can allow the world and give the world a pause. Let the world and us have a pause to go within. Solitude is also a state of hospitality. A state of hospitality. A welcoming of all that is in need of attention. Solitude offers a ground that is embracing and inclusive. Everything can be made welcome in the broad arms of solitude, even fear. For as long as humans have sought counsel with the sacred, our whole history of humanity, we've looked at the mystery of life, and we've desired to commune with the divine. Much of that seeking of the counsel with the sacred has happened in a space apart from others. The mystics didn't discover their connection with God by going to parties at night. They stayed in solitude and they connected deeply with themselves. And we are all having the invitation right now of a unique solitude retreat. It's so funny to me that I've often thought of the Europeans as having this, they have a month-long vacation, and about that, thought that's so humane. And it takes this little virus to come along, and all of a sudden, we Americans who pride ourselves in industry and productivity, and we say, everybody indoors, stay in place, unless you have to go. Rilke, one of my favorite poets, says, I'm too alone in the world and not alone enough to make every minute holy. I'm too alone in the world and not alone enough to make every minute holy. Holy cow, that is quite a quote. It brought me to a story of Milarepa, who was a 13th century monk. And the story goes, he spent years in a cave. And I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Thank you for the shawl. And thank you for hand sanitizer. He spent years in a cave. And one day he came home to his cave and discovered that the entire cave was filled with monsters. Gremlins. Now, just as a parenthetical, these are all parts within him. These are parts within him. He comes in and he finds his whole cave filled with gremlins. And one by he offers them tea, invites them to tea. Remember, solitude is inclusive. And what was the word? Was inclusive and embracing. So he embraces the gremlins, offers them tea, and all but one of them, the most ferocious, the most foul-mouthed, drooling, green, yucky stuff, only that one was left. And that monster opened his mouth, and Milarepa put his head in the mouth of the monster. And with that, the monster disappeared, and Milarepa was left with peace. Now I know from experience that facing fears, facing deep grief, facing anger, I'm even going to say embracing, leaning into these difficult emotions takes courage. I know that for sure. And I also know that we are here because we were called here. Our souls called us here for this time. So I encourage us all to lean in and allow the physical body to support us in releasing the emotions. So rather than comfort eating, rather than drinking, rather than streaming, rather than getting away from what doesn't feel good, let's lean into it. Because maybe by leaning into it and allowing those monsters, those gremlins to dissipate and to disappear, to dissolve, perhaps that will also help the world, the collective, dissolve a bit, and may even help neutralize the virus and calm the virus down. Anything is possible, I believe. So this morning, we're going to do a different kind of tapping. I'm going to invite you, I learned this trick yesterday, and it goes like this. Just rub your, if you rub your chest, your heart chakra, and just gently, in a clockwise, I think I'm going in clockwise motion, whichever way. I think it's clockwise. I think you'll find your own way. Whichever way, it doesn't really matter. And just breathe that in. So let's breathe that in and let go down to the bottom of the breath. And then just tap lightly. I see my shirt is all messed up. That's okay. Just tap lightly on the thymus, which is right here. Just tap lightly on that. And I have a new practice to teach you today. It's called humming. There's a book called The Humming Effect. And the humming effect tells us that when we hum, it helps us relax. Let's see. Oh, I see a... Oh, yes, embracing the darkness. As we do this, could we say, may I embrace the darkness within and transform it through my love? May I embrace the darkness within. May I embrace the grief within. May I embrace the anger within and transform it with love. And then tapping. And then the humming. So humming is with the mouth closed. And there's a book called The Humming Effect. Actually humming, what happens is the vibrations of our own voice go internal. And you can actually play with the sounds and see where you can actually intentionally send them to different parts of your body. It's more advanced, but why not? We're advanced. We can do that. So let's do this. Just lightly tap, and we're going to allow 3 breaths and hum. And you can do it at any tone you want. And just maybe even close your eyes and feel the vibrations inside. So breathing in, hum. And again, hum. And one more time. Hum. And now check in with yourself. You might feel a little buzzy. Sometimes I do. It's quite calming. Quite calming. So let's do a see what time is it. Okay, we're going to do one tapping on the collarbone, and today we're going to tap on the collarbone, and with what we've been talking about, let's return to our Ho'oponopono prayer and tap and repeat after me. And right now I'd like you to offer this prayer to all of you, to the inside of you, your internal planes where gremlins and angels roam. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I embrace you. I include you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And on putting your left hand into your left wrist into your right hand, and wrapping your fingers around and squeezing it gently and repeating after me. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And 3 times in a row. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And breathing in. And on the out breath, peace. Peace. I invite you this week to look at social distancing differently, to look at this entire time as a collective and personal initiation. There's some fear about how we're going to come out of this because we feel more comfortable when things are comfortable. We feel safer. Our bodies tend to feel safer when we're comfortable. Our minds feel safer when we're comfortable. There's a great Jeremy Taylor, my dream teacher, who says that dreams, and I believe all of life, comes in the self-service of health and wholeness, not comfort and convenience. So I invite you to go through this week embracing and including everything that comes to you, because everything that comes to you is for you in some way, shape, or form. I invite you to reframe social distancing and make it about solitude, sanctuary, and deeply connecting like this in ways we didn't really allow before. This deep connection. So be well, and if you would like to deeply connect in a wonderful group of like-minded, like-spirited souls, let me know if you are open for a dive with Maggie Schreiber and I. She's the founder of the Anam House. She's actually on with us right now. And we will be offering a complimentary Our Gift to You time together on Saturday morning. I believe it's 9:30 to 11:30. You can private message me for details. It's on Zoom, and we know that this rich connection is so much different than social distancing. We don't have to be socially distanced, people. We have to take care of ourselves physically, yes, but we don't have to be socially distanced. We can be deeply connected in these times, maybe more than ever. Thank you so much for being here this morning, whether on live or recording, and let me know if you would like additional support and or would like to join Maggie and me on Saturday morning, March 28th. Thank you so much, and I will be here tomorrow, probably around noon. Tomorrow's Tuesday, 8:15 tomorrow morning, 8:15. See you at 8:15 tomorrow morning. Thank you. Much love.